Good evening. Welcome to Instructional Design from the Ground Up, bloopers and holiday message version. I'm here with Denise tonight, and this is going to be laid back. We're not going to say anything incredibly important, but we are going to have fun. But most importantly, what we're going to do is thank all of you for being part of this journey for this year and getting this channel off the ground and trying to provide a service to the instructional design community. We appreciate every single one of you, and we're going to say thank you. I would sing tonight, but Denise said I have no chance of doing that, that she is in the control room and
Well,
she will pull the plug.
unless you maybe sing Jingle Bells, a line from that. That's
I
the
don't know.
exception.
That's not a song I would sing. I would sing something that would be incredibly embarrassing to both of us. And probably get a citation from YouTube and not a good one. So, um, gosh, Denise, what are we going to do tonight? I mean, we're
I
going to have fun,
know.
obviously. And
Yes.
I noticed that you conveniently in the blooper tape left out all of your Rhode Island accent.
I know I was searching high and low for them, and
Oh, I'll
I
bet.
don't think that
Somehow
I'm not sure that I actually spoke with too much of
yeah.
my Rhode
Oh,
Islandish.
oh, how convenient. Uh-huh.
I think
Yeah.
that was a figment of
Oh,
everybody's imagination.
yeah. No, I think
Yeah.
this is what we call denial. And it's not a river in Egypt. It's what we do.
There was one
Yeah.
word I was trying to find that David from our live session had made fun of it in good humor, in good taste. The word spatula,
Well, how many things have I sent you on spatulas
and
since
I
then?
could not, for the life of me, find that episode.
Yeah.
I can't remember
And the
which
other
one it
one is
was.
Dayton. Say Dayton. You can't do it.
Dayton,
Yeah, you see, you can't. I mean,
and my maiden name Martin.
Martin, Martin. But see, I looked this up. So, I supposedly have an advanced
Of
degree in
course you
languages.
did. Of course you did.
And you know where this accent is most likely to be found? Where do you think?
The Rhode Island accent?
Where do you think it originated? At least in
Oh,
my very, very, very brief kind of looking into this.
ooh, New York City? Because I get that a lot. You're from Long Island?
Well, I
No.
mean, that could be the recent transition.
Okay, well, I can say that the town that I grew up in Rhode Island, is called Woonsocket. Most people would say
Mm-hmm.
Woonsocket because that is how it's
Woonsocket,
spelled,
right.
but we call it Woonsocket.
And where did
And
that come from?
large base of French Canadian.
Ah,
Huge base of French
so
Canadian.
you do have that.
So,
But if you look more specifically, you will find it in the United Kingdom. Because Martin
really,
is a British name, isn't it? Isn't that a?
I
Have you done you haven't done any.
well, no, I
Yeah.
have. I'm actually King Louis the 14th of France is my
Grandfather
somebody down
or
the
your
line.
sixth husband or something?
My grandfather did a family tree, and
It all came back
it,
French?
it all came back French,
Really?
and it turned out that
Huh.
Catherine, Cat, I'm gonna mess this up, but Catherine, part of one of my ancestors, fell in love with Charles Martin from France, who is a direct descendant of King Louis the 14th of France, and she was forbidden, or he was forbidden to marry her, but he did anyway.
You French.
Now, it's either that's the true story or my
Yeah.
grandfather. I got
Hmm.
my storytelling from somebody from my
Hmm.
grandfather. Maybe he's just a really
Hmm.
great storyteller, and I sat there as a little
Hmm.
girl, like, tell me
Hmm.
more.
Yeah. Well, I was told I was Cherokee, and that my great grandfather was a Cherokee chief, and I have no Cherokee. Hey, David. Happy
Hey,
holiday to you,
David.
sir.
I just
Hope you're
mentioned
doing
you.
well.
We're just talking about
Yeah.
how you enjoyed hearing me say the word
Yeah. Those
spatula.
T words. Denise has
Spatula.
got an issue. So, um, gosh, I don't know. So I'm just going to say that Martin is a UK word.
Well, that's interesting. All right, I'll take that. I like that.
So, have you done your DNA?
No, I have not. No. It would be very interesting
Well,
though, wouldn't it? I wonder if any
I
of my
did it.
siblings have.
Yeah, I did it. Karen did it. Karen's sister did it. They came up with a big old surprise, which
Oh, really?
I won't share here. But the real surprise for both of us, as I said, we've been told we were Cherokee. She's not Cherokee either. So I think there's a lot of storytelling, a lot of, gee, I wish that were the truth. And, you know, it could be absolutely right. But you're not going to know unless you do a DNA. And
Yeah.
Ancestry, I've heard, is probably closest for those kind of stories. If you want more of the medical stuff, there are other choices. But I've done
Mm-hmm.
a couple of them, and they're a little bit different on that. But all of them end up the same place, pretty much, right around London. So I would think about, you
Very
know,
interesting. My grandfather actually had, well, I don't know where it is now. He's passed away, but he had the Martin coat of arms. And
mhm.
I don't know who has that. I'm sure that a cousin of mine somewhere along the way has that now, but it would have been really cool to have that.
Well, I'll tell you what, I will do a little snooping. And my new friend, your dad, maybe he'll give me some information.
My dad doesn't know anything
He,
about this. My dad right now, it's winter and he's making puzzles by the fire. And that's where I got this puzzle making ideas.
well, well,
As
Mr.
children,
Martin,
as a child, I'd make puzzles with him in front of our fire, and he still does that. And he sent me home with a bunch of
yeah,
puzzles one day, and hence my puzzle making this past week.
well, Mr. Martin, if you're watching, we're going to get your DNA figured out, brother.
I'm gonna tell him
We're
to
gonna
watch this. I'm
we're
gonna
gonna
find the
find
timestamp.
out, and whether we disclose it to the public or not, of course, is your choice. But I think there's more to this Rhode Island thing than we'll see.
Perhaps, perhaps. So I don't have a Maryland accent at this point after 19 years of being in this
I don't even know
state.
what a Maryland accent is. I mean, I
Hmm.
have an Ohio accent,
Yeah.
whatever that is.
Yeah. Well, you, you don't. I was gonna say something. You talk funny. I'm just kidding. But you
Yeah,
really don't.
you
I'll
know,
just
we made it till the end of the year. It's pretty good for a channel, right?
absolutely.
What are you gonna
Speaking,
do next
I'm
year?
telling you what,
David can come in and co-host it. We'll get him in
David, you
here.
want to come be a co-host? I think I just
It'd
got.
have to be better than me.
I think I just got fired.
Oh, you're firing me. You're the boss. Who we kidding here? I can't do anything without you.
So it has been quite a year. Now, we
Yeah,
started this, well, we started talking about, hey, have
February.
you ever thought about doing a
Well, you
YouTube
know how it
channel?
started was you contacting me about doing a video course series.
Yes, because I wanted to do that. And oh, David said he is on his way.
All right. Well,
Woo,
we just went up about 3 points.
there you go.
Because he's a lot better looking than me. So that's going to work out great, David. Good for you. Uh, been real.
Absolutely.
Keep
Yeah.
in touch.
Oh, but yeah, I wanted to create a video course, and I believe, and it's been a year almost, so I believe that that course I never created, obviously that one, but it was going to be for I've done a lot of video production for companies where they have clients who I interview and get testimonials, and so put together little client testimonial videos that they can use on their website. And so I thought, well, that would be a really cool course to create, teach people how to do that for themselves. And then if they can't do it, then I can help them out. But then, of course, I didn't do that, but I have been a little busy bee, as you know, creating a lot of content and ideas, generating
Yes.
them since
Yes.
starting this channel in the ISG world. And it's been very exciting and a lot of fun.
Well, I
And
think next year is going to be a whole new adventure. I'm not quite sure how, but I just have a gut feeling that next year is going to be different. And I think it'll be a lot more live
yes.
instead of us trying to can these because that's, post production is a pain. And
Well,
we seem to do better
yeah.
live anyway.
We do because so we
I
started off
don't
this
know.
channel, and I personally, I don't know how you felt, but I think because I'm producing it and because I'm running the show. At first, it was a bumpy road because we couldn't figure out this. We use Ecamm Live, so
Bumpy.
I couldn't. It was a little bumpy ride. I was having a difficult time figuring out the software and
That's kind of like calling Vesuvius a forest fire. I mean, you know,
it was a little bumpy. Yeah, it was a little
yeah.
bumpy.
So I'm using a teleprompter, and you're. my world, for the most part, was audio. So I did audio production. We did audio magazines. I did voiceovers. You've done some of that, but most of your work is video. So I had to move into the video realm in a sense that I had to get my sense of awareness and camera awareness back. And some could argue I still don't have it, but uh, it's been a transition for me, a pleasant one, certainly. But you've had so much experience at this that as we go through this tape that you put together, and I want everybody to realize I had nothing to do with putting this together. So it's mostly going to be me being embarrassed as opposed to the producer being embarrassed. And that's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. But there were some bumps that we had to get through. Now, I will tell you, I learned a lot of stuff about producing and going live and live streaming and upload speed, download speed, this speed, this
Yeah,
speed.
that's $100 a month lesson for me.
I mean, I put my Sherlock Holmes hat on probably in February or March trying to figure out why the heck, Chuck, you were so blurry all the time. I mean, we
Yep.
would just be having a really great conversation, recorded sessions in the middle
And
of
off it
something really
goes.
exciting, and all of a sudden you
Off it
froze
goes.
or you
Yeah.
turned really, really, really blurry right while you were saying something really
Yeah.
important.
Which
And
was not often, but there was
so,
certainly.
yeah, so I mean, I took out my clipboard or clapboard, I should say, more times than I cared for. But we finally, I think, figured it out. Every once in a
Yep.
while, we'll run into a
Yeah.
little, little hiccup because of speeds and upload speeds and
It's,
things like that. But
it's all upload speed. I
I
went
think
from 10 to 40, and I took care of it.
I think I have 800. But I live
Upload?
in
Oh, no.
I live in the
Yes,
suburbs.
go ahead and brag. I live in the mountains. Yeah. We're lucky to have power up here, so
Oh my
I'll take
gosh,
what I
right.
can get.
Exactly. Oh,
Well, why don't you show your embarrassing,
all right. I'm going to
you
show
know,
it's a couple minutes long, and
and
this
this is
is
there's a disclaimer that I had nothing to do with choices here. I want you all to know that. So, as you look at this, just remember who the production editor was for this.
well, you will notice that most all the bloopers, maybe aside from one or two, are me.
That's because you were kind.
Oh, all right. So, are you ready? Ready, folks?
Yes,
All right,
sure.
here we go. Hopefully, y'all can hear it. If you can't, put that in the comments so I know. Hello, and welcome to the wonderful world. I already messed up. Hold on. Instructional design from the ground up is something.
And it's really cool.
We're just going to have such a good time.
Look at us.
Don't you just want to join in?
Hey, it's free. It's YouTube.
Live Q&As and real world. Thanks for tuning into our channel here at the instructional. I don't even know what we're called. Okay, so how does this, as a newbie to instructional design, how does this differ from writing regular the regular? Oh my God, can't think of the word. The sound like when you move.
Like
Yeah.
that.
Yep.
Oh, it's my shirt then.
Chuck, you froze there for a second.
I froze.
You did for just a second. Just I was put in charge as co-host, and nobody really said we need to train moderators.
No audio.
You can't hear me?
I can't hear you. Oh, this focuses. It's gone straight to hell. Well, I do look better.
Helping me work through that little issue that I had with this issue that I had with the training module that I created, and how pilot testing could have really alleviated a lot of the problems that the person unfortunately had to suffer this weekend, and 100 people viewing. Gosh, Chuck, I didn't press record.
Probably better. So Dennise,
I can say that we haven't had this many bloopers in a while since we
let's
tried
do
to.
them all tonight. Let's do them right now.
Hello, and today we're going to discuss Dr. Chuck Hodell's book, Introduction to Instruction.
3, 2.
I'm not even on. I'm using the handbook, the ATD handbook, as my for my
You're
tripod.
sitting on my chapter.
My gorilla pod is on top of my my training handbook.
13 or whatever chapter I've got there.
Now you say in chapter 2 that learning styles. There are 2 learning styles. I don't know what I wrote here. Hang on a second. I was muted.
This blooper reel is getting big.
Oh my God. Well, you know what? It's good to get the kinks out before we go live. Chapter 4 is ADDIE and other ISD models. I'm here with Dr. Chuck Hodell. Chuck, why do we need instructional design models?
I'm not sure. That's a great question.
This is another one of those questions that got smeared.
So,
What are we?
what's the schmatty model?
What in the heck? I got to open up my Word document because I honestly cannot even read what I wrote here, which is hilarious. Hang on. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Chapter Chats. In this episode, I'll be with what am I going to be doing? I'll be chatting.
You're going to be trying to get this intro.
Actually, I really like doing these sessions before the live thing because it gets all the kinks out. Thank you.
Just say the guy's new book. You know what it is. If you're watching chapter 7, you already know what it is.
Let me do that again. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Chapter Chats from Dr. Chuck Hodell's textbook, Introduction to Instructional Design System. This is why we have to do a warm-up. And you know what's interesting about this? When we're live, I don't mess up. Thanks for joining in for this episode of Chapter Chats from Dr. Chuck Hodell's textbook, Introduction to Instruction. Jesus Christ. And the last question that I have for you is, can you explain the use of I gotta say that again.
Psychometrics.
Wait, hold on. Let me restate that part.
So we're going to restart that?
Just that one question there. No, we do better with live anyway because we're not.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
We just do it because we mess up, we just laugh, and we don't really mess up when we're live.
No, I think we should do live all the time, and maybe not for this, but it's easier on you. It's just a better way to go. Well, as you can see, we have evolved. Some would say to a better place. Some would say you're just as bad, Chuck, as you were when you started. But one thing I will say, I've lost 20 pounds since we started. And
I've probably gained 20 pounds. So there we go.
You found it. So and the backdrop has changed 3 times for me. And now I'm in a comfortable place here in the office, so it's easier for me.
I like it. I like how you can.
It looks like NASA or something.
Yeah, you kind of look like you're doing some.
Looks like I actually know what I'm doing, which of course we all know is not true. But I think Dennise, what this shows is we've evolved, and I was stiff in the beginning, certainly in the sense that it wasn't comfortable for me, and now it's just second nature. I've gotten back into what I did years ago, and it feels comfortable, and everything's fine with it. And I think the product is better. But I really do think live is the way to go.
I think so too. I mean, I have to say, when we first started this channel and the idea of going live freaked me out. It really did. I know that when we first started, that was the goal. You're like, let's do live sessions. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have to learn this Ecamm live system, make sure I know what I'm doing. I mean, it took a lot of work on the back end to figure it all out, to design things properly. And I think those first recording sessions that we had, the canned ones, made me more scared to do live because, we just had so many little technical issues that thankfully I was able to edit in post-production. And I remember thinking early on, how are we going to do a live session? Like, how would I ever, I'm not going to be able to edit this stuff. But then we figured out you've invested the $100 a month for better upload speed.
Can we
And
take it, Jenny?
magically, you're not blurry anymore. There goes my nickname for you, but still, it works out. And we did our first live session, and it was comfortable right from the start. It really, really was. I mean, I was really nervous to click the go live now button. I definitely was nervous about that. But as soon as we did, it
Well,
felt so natural because you're live and you're just talking and you're having conversations, and then people are joining in the comments, and it just feels more authentic, and like we're having the discussions just take on a different level.
yeah, I think so. And the other thing we got to honor is the fact we have some great folks on there with us with our live sessions. So,
Yes, absolutely.
I mean, what would we do without them? And
I
now
know.
Holly's joined the party, and Miko and Ashley,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
they make it so much easier on us because they're so brilliant, and
it's wonderful. It's great
it's
having that.
wonderful.
It's great
And I
having
know we'll
that
have other
dynamic.
co-hosts coming up. But I was sitting there thinking about when I was a musician and the time in the studio and when we did TV and stuff. And it was always so much easier just to go in front of a camera and do it live than it was to go through all the other stuff. And in the
Absolutely.
studio, when you're recording, I felt so much more comfortable when we just laid down tracks. We didn't think about it. We didn't do anything else. We just played. And I don't know why that didn't come back to me here, but this is just natural for me. And I think it's
Hmm.
natural for you.
Absolutely.
And yeah,
Yeah, I
I
mean,
just,
I've done lots of pre-recorded stuff in the work that I do, and even as like in my writing career, I've done a lot of live, not live readings, but I've tried to do a lot of pre-recorded readings and then upload them to YouTube, and
that's
they're
tough.
always just I remember trying to record sessions on there that I would record 20 times just to make them perfect. And then one day I thought, let's just go live. And I had my finger on that red button to go live for the longest time. And finally I just did. And then I was like, this is the easiest thing in the
Yeah.
world. I don't have to do any edits. It's who I
Yeah.
am. If I mess up, I laugh, I giggle, and the audience is there giggling along with me. And it's so much better. So I'm really happy that we've evolved to the
And this
live.
is who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is the most authentic you and I are.
Hmm.
This is the way we are together. It's the way we talk to each other. When we message back and forth, this is who we are. And the other was, let's try to present an image. And this is our image. This is who we are. And I think the authenticity, what we talked about. But I think this is important from an instructional design perspective too. And
Hmm.
we decided we weren't going to really do any ISD tonight, but the designer in me begs to point out that finding the medium that's most receptive on both ends of this process is important. So you think about instructors and how they must get nervous if they have to think about canning their classes and their courses. And maybe a better avenue is just recording live or doing live
Yes.
and not worrying so much about production values and the rest of it, just letting people be who they are. And I think it's worked for us. I think there's a design perspective to this too that is worth thinking about as we're now going back into perhaps a bit of a remote learning situation in the near term. Who
Hmm.
knows? But I just think everything we do is part of what we do. So
Yeah.
the designer in me never goes away, whether we're doing this, whether we're talking about production values or how we're going to present to the folks, all three people that watch us regularly.
It's interesting that you just brought that up because I'm designing a course right now for a writing course, and the course itself is going to be a series of I thought pre-recorded videos, canned videos,
You
talking
thought,
about specific. Well, as we're talking, and I was listening to you. I had a new idea, and that is, I am
you should
better.
talk to me more
Yeah,
often.
I should. I am much better when I'm off the cuff. And so I was thinking maybe I should be recording these sessions on my YouTube channel for my writing YouTube channel because that's who follows me are writers. And
Yeah.
I probably should do those live and just take
Hmm.
the recordings from those live sessions and of course, I'll have to put some production value to them because it is going to be
Sure.
a paid course. So I'll have to, but it's going to be, I think, more authentic, and I'll be able to speak
Yeah.
more off the cuff. Because if I'm trying to can these recordings, I know right now from our experience of trying to record our trailer for YouTube, it's going to
Which
take me,
which
it'll take
still
me
is
500 million
awful.
hours.
Well, that's
Uh,
a long time.
well, I mean, I have 17 of these module lessons to record, and I do believe that if I do them live, well, a few things, some people might benefit from watching it live, but then I'm able to take that and just I think I can speak more, just I don't know, more candidly about the subject itself by just being live. There's something
Yeah.
that's really special about being live.
So if you're watching this in post, because there aren't a lot of people with us live tonight because it's the holidays, etc.
Hmm.
But if you're watching this, leave us what you think about this. Do you enjoy us being live more than the canned sessions that we did before? Do you care? Um, Obviously, want to hear what topics you want us to cover and people that you would like to see on here with us because we're always open to those conversations. So we're a work in progress at best. So join us, be part of our family. We're not going to keep you too long tonight because you're not going to watch what some of you might think is an inside joke. It's really not. It's just us telling you how awful we are sometimes and the humanity of it all. I've become very humble about all of this, and I'm just happy to be able to share what we know on this medium. And the feedback we're getting is incredible. If a person watches one of our videos, how many do we have now? 70, I think, close to
We
that.
have quite a bit. Hmm.
Yeah. So if you watch one of these and you pick up something that helps you with your career, then I feel happy. And it's not about big numbers. It's not about anything else. It's about trying to help each of you, trying to build our community of instructional designers, try to get some visibility for our field because we're the best kept secret in training and education. And that's what we're going to keep doing. And Dennise and I are dedicated to this. As I've said thousands of times, it's not monetized. We're not looking for a Patreon. That's not what we're doing here. This is all on us. And we are very happy to do that. You like them
Absolutely.
better live, David? Okay. Well, anybody else I would have not paid as much attention to, but I know you well enough to know that you'd be honest about this. So if you we ought to get David on here too because
Yes, David.
he's very media savvy and he does things with things he has of mine that embarrass me
Yes. Oh,
tremendously.
awesome. Then David,
Yeah.
definitely. We'll be in
So
contact.
so so do another TikTok. And oh, I shouldn't say that because I know he's going to do it. But so thank you for being part of this family. We really appreciate it, brother, and keep coming back, keep supporting us. Let us know what topics you'd like to hear too. I'd like to do some things on apprenticeship, and I think we'll bounce that around a little bit too. But we're not going to keep you too long tonight, Dennise. I don't know what else you want to add, but by
Just
golly, you know.
really grateful for this opportunity, Chuck, that you gave me this opportunity to I'm learning so much from you, from all the guests that we've had on, the amazing lineup of guests that we've had on this past year, and I look forward to having them back on and having new guests come. And it's just been I've been making some really great connections out there because of this show, and it's just been really inspiring to me. Personally, I feel like I've benefited tremendously in terms of my ISD training, my education. It's been enriched by these conversations that I have weekly with you and with others about the fascinating world of instructional design. I never in my wildest dreams last year at this time thought I'd be able to carry a conversation about instructional design because I was just brand new as a student, starting maybe 6 months prior to that, and it was all new to me. But I think that there's something that is really great about having that curious mindset of being new to something because it brings with it an unbiased lens, objectivity, and just an excitement to learn and absorb and be able to learn that information and help maybe share it in some capacity through the work that I do and through just conversations that I have. So it's been really inspiring, and I'm really grateful for everybody who supports this channel by showing up to live shows, by liking our videos, by commenting on them. It's really great, and I can see the community building, and I love that, and I love being part of it.
Well, you are the audience that we're reaching, and the chemistry between you and I in terms of experience and other things. You bring so much more to this in many ways than I ever could. So it's a good relationship. It's a good energy. It's a good authenticity. I think we represent the people that we're trying to serve. And I think that's one of the beauties of what we're doing. So on into the next year, new things to do, new ways to involve all of you. And I certainly hope that this is of value to you and that you find some interest and it sparks a knowledge tree kind of a situation where you want to figure out more and you want to take on some new challenges maybe you didn't do before. And if we get you to think about something in a different way that serves you, then we have certainly served our purpose. So, best of the holidays, best for the new year, and we look for you live after the first of the year.
Bye, everyone. Happy New Year. Happy holidays.